Call to order the workshop meeting for the Township of Aleppo. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please, Gwen.
President Jones?
Present.
Vice President Williams?
Present.
Commissioner Haluka?
Here.
Solicitor Jewett?
Present.
As is always the case, our meetings are live streamed and recorded, so if you don't want to say anything that ends up recorded, so be it. It's with a very heavy heart that I need to announce the passing of Commissioner Darrow. He has served us since 2016. I think everybody would agree as a wonderful man and a hardworking man, and I'd just like to observe a minute of silence in his honor. Thank you. We have with us tonight Jed Michael. Jed is known to us as he previously introduced himself to the commissioners and to the public when he appeared as an applicant for the zoning hearing board last year, I believe. Last year, maybe the year before. He has been approached to fill our vacancy, and we come tonight at this meeting to have him appointed to do so. And we want to thank you for stepping up in our time of need. Anna, I believe you have what you need to do that.
Yes, so first we need a motion to appoint James Michael as commissioner for the balance of the term of Dan Dara. The term will be ending December 31st, 2025.
So moved.
Is there a second?
There is.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, congratulations, sir, you are appointed. We are going to promptly administer the oath of office. We have notary public present, and so I will ask Don Snyder here to please read the oath, if you could raise your right hand, and then we'll have you sign.
I, James Michael, do solemnly swear or affirm that I support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this Commonwealth, and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
I do.
Okay, thank you, sir, and if we could just get some signatures. We have a couple of copies. One will stay on file with the township. I will take one to my office, and you can have one to frame or, you know, put in your headshot or whatever you would like.
See, all right.
Do you need anything from us?
Thanks, Judy.
Thank you, George.
Remember when all else fails, Jack Daniels.
Jed,
Sir,
thank you again.
you're welcome, thank you for having me.
See you in October.
Okay, and as these are being affirmed, we also have the affidavit of residency, if you could sign here, confirming that you are a registered elector of the township. Thank you very much.
Is that all you need, Anna?
Yes, we're just going to do one more notarization, but you can feel free to move forward with the rest of the
Wonderful.
agenda as we're finishing this up.
Wonderful. Do I hear a motion to approve the August 11th, 2025 workshop meeting minutes?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Travis Naro, am I saying that right? Ganera, I was close, from Turnley Robertson and Associates is here to present the 2024 audit.
How you guys all doing?
Good.
First here, I'll pass out. Let me see how. in that packet I just handed out, there's three different packets. The first one has the admin statements down on the side on the left. This is called a SAS 114 letter. It is barely just all it is required communication between the audit firm and the client. You can read it if you like, but there's not much on it really to say. I'll be honest with you, it's just required communication. The other one is the management letter. It has the highlights, how the audit went for the year. After talking to Gwen this afternoon, my understanding is that the board has yet to review the report. You're seeing it for the first time now.
Yes, sir.
I'll keep it short and sweet, just go over the highlights, and then as always, Gwen, George, and any other, they always email me with questions, if they have any concerns or questions on the numbers, and I will get back to you in 24 hours with the answers, so. But just a quick overview, on the first page here, you will see that the general fund balance increased about 5% from 24. You got an excess of revenue over expenses for about $90,000. You increased your fund balance for the year, which is good. On the next page, it's just a 5-year look back how your revenues increase and decrease over the last 5 years. You get a slight decrease in revenues from 23, about $60,000, but you had a decrease of $150,000 in expenditures, hence your $90,000 net gain in fund balance. On the following page, you will see budget versus actual, and I apologize, we have a typo in the top one. It should say actual revenues exceeded budget revenues. I'll fix those letters for your finals. We have typed backwards, worded backwards. But you will see the biggest significant increase was in taxes. You're about $200,000 over budget. Interest and rent was about $50,000 over, and then your transfers in and out between funds. But the biggest area was taxes. And like I said, I apologize, I'll get that corrected for you. Under expenses, your actual expenditures exceeded budget expenditures. The biggest area was public works, and I believe offhand that was because of the road project, the paving of the road. You transferred the money from the capital improvement fund into the general fund. We showed the expenses in the general fund. That's where that comes into play on that one. All your other funds, they all had increases. So the liquid fuels, stormwater, debt service, the capital improvements fund, and the police pension fund all had positive. They increased the fund balances. As you know, the liquid fuels and the debt service are restricted. You can only use that for highways and then the debt service for your bond payments. The other two, capital improvements and stormwater, are board assigned. So if you got yourself in financial trouble, you could take those monies back, put them into the general fund for general operations. So, but the liquid fuels and debt service, you cannot do that. That's for specific purposes. So, just as a general rule, the Government Finance Office Association, they usually recommend that you have your unassigned fund balance that's at least 2 months to cover expenditures. Which in your case, because your budget for 2024 is like 1.79, would be about $300,000. You should have a fund balance up for 2 months. So that's about 17% of your budget. You guys at year end, your fund balance for unassigned is 1.67, almost 100%. So you have a healthy fund balance. You guys are doing a good job of monitoring the finances around here, doing a good job. And then in the big report here, the actual financial statements, I'm just going to go over Exhibit C. Page 3. At year end, for the general fund, you had about 1.8 million in cash available, with liabilities of only about 140,000. So once again, the cash is good, hence your fund balance.
This guy.
Then, as you guys review it, if you don't want to read the whole 60-page report, if you guys would just read the front half, it's called the Management Discussion and Analysis. It just sums up all the highlights and overviews of the 24 year compared to 23. But if anything, you only need, for the numbers wise in the back, I'd recommend reviewing pages 3 through 7. That'll give you an idea how all your individual funds are doing. But like I said, they all had a positive increase. You have a healthy fund balance, so you guys are going in the right direction, doing a good job. If you have any questions now, I'll take them, but as I know, that's a lot to digest in 5 minutes. So, like I said, Gwen and George usually, within a day or two, send me a list of questions, and if you guys have anything you want to add to them, Gwen has my email, or you can we can provide them to Gwen and she can send them off to me, or you can get my email for Gwen. You can just reach out directly to us at any time, whether it's tomorrow, a week from now, 2 weeks from now, you know, whatever's best for you guys, so. Other than that, that's about it.
Thank you, Travis.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I would entertain a motion to adopt the concurring resolution to apply for a grant from the Redevelopment Authority of Allegheny County for roads.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second?
Any discussion? This is a resolution that's required because we applied for a grant for continuing improvements on Rhodes Avenue. So we're required to do the resolution.
There's not the overpayment, but their work was completed. And then
Yes,
this is
we
gonna do
did
a
it.
Guardrail?
It was emergent. So we fixed the road based on an emergency that it needed to be done. And then we're gonna use the grant money for the same project, but we can't use it to pay for things that were already done.
Right.
So we're gonna use it for the guide rail on that road and to finish off some of the paving and stuff on that road. Am I
And
correct?
That's correct, and then we're also applying for a new grant for more work on that road. So that application is going in now, and we won't learn about that for like another year almost.
Okay.
So we have multiple things in the fire for that. We had a grant that was out for $100,000 that we got, but then the road started moving again and we had an emergency. So we had to revise the scope for that grant, so we got that approved, so we're gonna be able to use that grant for a different section, it's a different section on the road. Pay for the other thing, and then now we're applying for another grant to work on a different section of the road, because it's a long, narrow, wiggly road.
Gotcha.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Gwen, do you want to talk about the secretarial position?
Let's do the motion to approve the engineering
Engineering
services.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
That-
sorry. Yeah, because they're
I would
linked.
entertain a motion to approve the engineering services proposal from HRG for the Rhodes Avenue landslide rehab grant from GEDTF. That's the costs of HRG administrating the grant. So I believe that's oversight design and getting bids for the project, is that
They
correct?
bid it out and then and inspection and everything else, so that's exactly what it is. And I'm sorry, I did not put the dollar amount on that motion, but I will speak it.
I believe it's just under 10, or just over $10,000.
That's for phase one,
Yeah, there's 8,900 or something for the design and then 75 for
inspection and then-
the
yeah.
oversight. Do I have a motion?
motion.
Second.
Any further discussion?
Have we been working with HRG for a long time? Have they done a lot of,
Yes,
The
there are
work around
township
it.
engineers.
okay, and we vet them on a certain schedule, or we've just had a relationship with them for a significant period
Gwen,
of
I'm
time?
gonna send that to
They've
you.
been our engineers since 2015, and then
Okay.
they get reappointed every 2 years. The board has to reorganize, and the board will decide who's gonna be in what position, and then all of our services, like our solicitor, our engineer, our newspaper where we advertise, all of that gets reappointed every 2 years. So every 2 years, there's an opportunity to have a conversation, or at any time you could have a conversation.
Sure.
But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so they've been the township engineer for roads and any kind of, that kind of side, stormwater projects. Water and sewer issues are served by the authority, which is a different entity, and they have their own engineer. So you guys made the motion and the second for that
Yes.
one,
Yeah.
so.
Without further discussion, all in favor?
On what? I'm sorry.
The
Yes.
motion for the to
Approval
approve
for
HRG.
HRG.
Oh,
Yep, aye.
second.
Any opposed?
Got it.
And motion carries.
Thank you all.
Gwen, do you want to discuss the?
Yes,
secretary?
as we have previously announced, our township secretary Patty passed away suddenly in July, and I have now run an ad for the position. It is a part-time position, averages about 25 hours a week. We can be flexible on what days of the week of the applicant, the successful applicant would work. We've had people serve in that part-time capacity with all different kinds of schedules. So we will find a way to work out what's best for the successful applicant and the township. It's advertised in the Sewickley Herald. It was advertised in the Tribune Review, which includes an online component, and this stuff is on the latest news page of our website. So we're accepting resumes through the end of September. I believe September 26th is the deadline. And then once I collect those resumes, we'll start sifting through them and then making some interview selections for, first round of interviews.
Wonderful. So anybody that may be interested should forward those to you, Gwen?
Yes, yep, I'll collect all of it.
Okay, new business. I would entertain a motion to accept the 2026 police pension, the MMO of 0, and the 2026 non-uniform MMO of 15,531. It's just a requirement to formally accept it.
So moved.
Second?
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The Comcast franchise agreement, Gwen.
So about a year or maybe a little more ago, the board voted to engage Cohen Law Group as, in a collective bargaining opportunity through the Quaker Valley COG. So a bunch of the communities in the Quaker Valley COG got together and decided to hire Cohen to negotiate the renewal of franchise agreements. Those are agreements that allow Comcast and Verizon, are the current ones, to operate in the township. So they have to make an agreement with the municipality in order to operate the lines and provide service in the township. So Cohen Law Group finished their negotiations for now, and they have presented this the draft contract, and then what you have here is the executive summary of what the contract says. I also have a couple printed copies if anyone wants to read the whole contract. Anna's already looked at them, so this has to be, the agreement would have to be adopted by ordinance. So you won't vote on anything this month. I'll advertise it, and then you would vote to accept the agreements at next month's legislative.
Cohen is a bit of an expert in these specific types of agreements, not just for internet, but for cell service and things of that nature. So I did review the agreement, and we'll give it one more look over before you formally authorize it. But it's pretty standard for them to engage with the COG and do sort of a collective bargaining, as Gwen properly put it. Get you a
Thank
better
you.
deal.
Is this already in effect and it's renewing, or is this the first time it's being put in place?
This will be a renewal.
It's a renewal, that's what I thought.
Correct,
Okay.
yes. Yes, they do have to engage with it every few years to renew it. There's a public hearing process associated with it, which we've already gone through and held that public hearing a few months ago, if the board would recall. So this is a renewal of that agreement rather than a fully brand new contract.
Is there anything of note and difference between what's being proposed and what was in the last one? 'Cause
No.
it didn't really have like a comparison in it.
No, that's true. There's not really a good comparison, at least in the summary. To my knowledge so far, and I'd be happy to run a strict comparison if you would like. To my knowledge, there aren't many significant changes beyond updating the terms. I did note their comment in here about addressing what fees are going to be included in the gross revenues. That seemed to me to be an improvement because it would be expanded to incorporate some of the additional
It looked
revenue
like
fees that come.
they put 2 or 3 of them in there that weren't in there before.
Exactly, and that's better, that's getting you a bigger, pie to take a piece of, so that seemed to be an improvement. But if you would like in advance of your October meeting, I can run a comparison.
I don't think necessarily, just trying to make, just trying to understand the difference. If it looked
Yes.
like that, like a revenue increase and it's a different calculation than that to our benefit, then that's great.
That's what it appears to me.
Yeah, it looks
I
like
didn't
they
see
just
anything
added
would
a
be-
couple fees that were excluded before.
I'll ask Phil
Yes.
or the
Yeah.
the guy from Cohen, if,
I think they'd be happy to
yes,
provide that,
hit
like I
the-
said
hit the
there.
3-4 bullet points, like cost bullet points for us.
Yep.
Great.
Yeah, I'll get that.
I would entertain a motion to approve the agreement with Compass Minerals America for our road salt.
So moved.
Second?
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Normally, we hold one of our legislative meetings at Masonic for their convenience over there. And we normally move one of our meetings to the fire department to have the meeting at large. I actually wanted to have a little bit of a discussion about this. In the past, the Masonic has a good reason. There's a large population there, it's convenient for them, et cetera. But in the past, when we've moved over to the fire department, we only ever have one, maybe two people. And it involves Dave moving the equipment over there and getting it set up and doing all that. And there doesn't seem to be an advantage to having the meeting there. I just entertain thoughts.
Do you think
You
it's,
know the history, Gwen, of why we did that originally.
We did, yeah, did it just to go out into the community. If we were doing one, let's serve both, or all populations, if we're going out into the community. And the first year, there was a development going on up on Weber Road, which is where the fire station's at bottom of Weber. So we had a lot of residents there because they needed to hear what was going on.
How long ago was that?
Before COVID.
Okay.
And in the last several years, we've had one, person from the neighborhood come. So it was an interesting, the first couple of years it was interesting to people, but now that we still do the digest and people can access the meetings that way, so people have not seemed interested in attending at the fire station, and that is their practice night, which requires them to change their schedule,
Right.
to not have, they aren't using their.
They moved their fire practice for us.
So, if you wanted to, I don't know what you thought, but if you wanted to take a year off from that and see if somebody says, hey, where's the fire station meeting, we could always redo it. I mean, the fire station's accommodating.
Yeah, and I think it's with considerable inconvenience, at least to Dave. He has to move all the equipment to stream over there and you have to carry all the little signs and et cetera, without benefit, I think. Thoughts? I mean, what do you think, Art?
Well, right now, I don't see any issues that would stir the pot, so to speak.
Correct, we don't have any large development
And,
issues on the horizon.
I would look at it from a standpoint, you're fire drilling people. And as you said, Judy, Masonic Village is different. We have a big population up there. It's a
Right,
third of the
and we get a
population.
turnout.
And I can tell you that they ask questions.
Yeah,
And we get a turnout for that meeting, right?
Has mobility, some of them have some more mobility challenges, so they're not gonna, come over here in the evening, but they might, they do come to the meeting that's held over there, so.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the risk benefit of entertaining one person versus the resources that it takes to move over there, so.
I did check with Masonic, and they are available at our October meeting dates, and including the legislative, which is the one where.
That's the one that we
Normally
do.
we talk more, we have all the reports and the police chief comes and stuff like that, so they are available, which I can't see that, Anna. Is it October 20th?
I believe so.
Yes, October 20th, they
Yes.
checked and they are available that date to host us in the assembly room if we do want to do it, so I just need to let them know yes or no.
Okay, so do we agree not to do the fire? We'll bounce it off of George, make
And
sure
for your
he's okay
knowledge,
with
I
that.
live in Masonic.
okay.
Yeah, that's fine, we can, if
Okay.
that's what you want to do.
It just seems a lot of work.
I mean, we could talk about it, if we get feedback from this and people say, why not, then we still have another month to decide
Yes.
about the fire station, but
Yeah.
so you're saying we'll go ahead with the October legislative meeting at Masonic?
At Masonic.
Okay,
And we will just have to advertise any change in the location.
got
Do
it.
what?
We have to advertise.
We have to
that meeting's
advertise if
gonna
we
be at
change the
Masonic.
location,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
but we can do that up to
Right.
24 hours in
Yeah.
advance. It's relatively easy to do.
And we always post the building, just in case anybody
Yeah.
wants to come, and notify our normal, regular attendees, and put it on the website and all that, so.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to approve a payment request from the Aleppo Township Authority for $84,000 for the Deer Run Pump Station contribution to the sewer bond account. And this was just so you know, we always contribute $84,000, don't we?
No,
No.
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 That's different. Every year we do 40,000 for them, for that. This is a standalone 84,000 they asked for probably almost a year
In
and a half ago.
addition to that one that we
This is the
voted on.
one where they had applied for a grant to reconfigure the pump station down the hill. They got a grant, they got a nice grant, but then the bids came in much higher than anticipated, and so they came to the board twice, actually. The first one was for this $84,000 contribution, because they weren't sure how much it was. That was kind of the shortfall from what they knew they could possibly get, because they could only get 85% of the project cost in the original grant.
Yes,
So that's what this is for. Then they came back again.
And
once
asked
they
for
got
the
bids and
second
said,
84.
Oh, we are really short.
I knew there was a
So-
second, request,
The
okay.
second request was for
Split the
share
cost.
of the, whatever the balance is, and up to 125,000. So that one won't come in, that request won't come in until the project is
Okay.
over, because it's a sharing of whatever's left. This one was, we said 84 from the sewer bond account, and they said yes, so this one is just a solid amount that, and they have already paid, I mean, they got their invoice from one of the contractors that far exceeds this, so.
Yeah, the expectation after speaking with the authority engineers that they will come in with ultimate cost about at the final estimate. So they are expecting to make that second request for payment at about the maximum of the 124, 125.
It's funny, yeah, whatever, splitting, sharing that with them.
Yes.
And the conversation that, so this is the sewer bond account that Travis mentioned, and this is an account that we can't use for anything.
This is all, that's all we can use it for,
It
right?
sits in the township, but it's only usable for, you can only use it for sewer purposes, and our financial advisors are not recommending that we refinance the debt service right now. The market's not
Right.
right for refinancing, because sometimes in years past, whatever excess we had in that account, we put towards a refinancing. That's not gonna happen this year, so the board considered that.
it's sitting
and
there,
said,
right.
It's sitting there, it can only be used for sewer purposes, this seems reasonable.
So let's
So
use it for
that's
sewer.
why,
Yeah.
and it's not coming out of the normal operations budget, it's just coming from the sewer bond fund.
And so when the payment gets made and cut, will that be reflected on this journal?
It will be reflected
Once
in the
it's
sewer
done.
bond account, it'll
Okay.
show that that money came directly from that, yes.
Can I
We didn't have a
entertain?
motion yet. We
No,
just
we
talked
did
about
not.
it.
Can I entertain a motion?
I move. Whoa, that-
Art is moving to
I was
approve the
thinking
payment
someplace-
request
Thinking someplace else.
from the Township Authority for 84,000 Deer Run Pump Station contribution from the sewer bond account. Do we have a second?
Second?
Any additional discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Dave, do we have any citizens hanging out there wanting to talk to us?
Nope.
Anna, do you have a need for executive session?
I do not unless there's any advice you would like to have about the new term and appointments or any questions about the new position on the board.
Gwen?
I
Is
don't
that a
have a
need
need for
that
an
you have?
executive session.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm good.
Going back for a second, due to the fact of loss of the man, our friend who was working on water.
Mhm. Oh, good point.
Okay.
Yes, so a liaison to the authority board would be
Yes.
appropriate. So you don't need to make a decision immediately on that, since it was not on the agenda. The recommendation would be then to just put that appointment to a liaison position on your October
Right.
meeting
We
agenda.
could do that, yeah, and then we're gonna reorganize in January, so we
Yes.
can, we'll definitely make sure that, you know, you can talk about what interests you and kind of get, you know, the commissioners aligned with the things that are
Yeah,
interested.
since I have the other fellow on that board who lives at Masonic, I see him every night at dinner.
Mhm.
I'll ask him what's going on and ask him if anything starts to move on us, to give us a high sign.
Sure, yeah,
Yeah, that's a good point. So it's not mandatory to have an appointed liaison to the
Right.
board.
right.
For right now, it would be recommended.
So we
since
can
you
do it
work
when we
closely.
reorganize, is that what you're
Yeah, we
recommending,
can do
Gwen?
it when we reorganize, you can
Yes.
just kind of keep in touch with Glenn and Tim, who are
Yeah.
both on the board, and then, yeah, kind of keep us informed for the rest of the year, and then at reorganization. And again, like Anna said, they're not required positions, they are just, it's giving the
Positions
township
of
guidance to
convenience.
say, okay, I have a question about the ambulance, who am I gonna call? Eric Allen. I have a question about public works, can't remember who that is, I think it's George. So yes, like that's, it's the liaison for these kinds of things, but it's not any special power
It's not
or
a
any special
requirement,
meeting. Yeah.
No.
Okay, then the workshop for Aleppo Township is adjourned.
And you just